You're doing these investments with your dog daily. And it's not something that you do seasonally. It's not something that you do occasionally. It's something that you're going to do regularly, consistently.
We could be spending time chasing nights, cruise the one until we see the sunrise. Hit my line, we align. Every night with you's the time of my life.
My name's Jordan Pittman. I'm from East Cleveland, Ohio, and I breed the South African Boerboel, the Exotic Boerboel family. Well, I breed the South African Boerboel. I feel like that it's the best dog on earth. And because of that, I feel like that you cannot have enough of them. I care for the breed intimately. I feel that this is something, I value them extremely valuable. They do something for me. They add so much to my life. They give me so much. I feel indebted to them. I feel like it's a beautiful thing to have. I wanted to share with others. I feel that the Boerboel is something that is special. It's a treasure, and it's something that very sacred. It's an honor. South African Boerboels, African Mastiff, they can be used interchangeably. Boerboel is means Afrikaans for farm dog. Boer means farmer or farmer, and then boel means dog. So it's farmer's dog or farm dog. That's what the translation is for Boerboel. And it's a blanket term. It just describes a dog on a farm, and they typically are bigger. And then in 1983, because it's a farm dog in South Africa, because of the location and the type of obstacles that they would experience in that location, it calls for a certain dog, a level of dog with qualities in order for it to thrive and be an asset. So it's bigger and it's stronger, it's more powerful, it's more intelligent, and it's a blanket term. But that 1983, they determined could be a dog breed. We should establish this as South Africa's own. And they formed a breed club. It was pretty much unstandardized, just random dogs on the farm, but they selected what they considered the best 80 at that time. And then they established the breed standard, which is a definition of the Boerboel. And they carried it out as began breeding it as a standardized pure breed in 1983. So it has a relatively recent introduction into standardized purebred breeding. This dog is not far removed from the farm. So for me, like you see how I have my puppy with me and it's just cooling out, chilling, hanging out with me. To me, the primary function of the Boerboel is just an extension of myself. It's like it's enhancing my abilities. It helps me, my ears, my extra set of eyes, an extra set of just an extension of myself, an extension of my family. And they're capable of protecting. They're capable of defending themselves. And they're capable of defending our home and protecting my assets. Things that I consider to be valuable. My family, number one. They give us a chance to arm and defend ourselves. And they give us a chance to be prepared for the unexpected, which is always, even though it's 2024, we don't live in the wilderness, and we're not worried about hyenas, and we're not worried about wolves and stuff like that. We have other threats, potential threats, the dogs protect us against. You can never be safe. Safety always is a priority, especially when you're talking about things that can never be replaced. You're talking about your loved ones, and you want someone that's there. It's almost like a personal bodyguard. As a man, as a boy, I always dreamed of having my own dogs because it was just something that I wanted. I was told that I couldn't have it as a boy. I could have as many dogs as I wanted when I became a man and got grown on my own. So I had dreamed, I had did my research, I had did my homework, and I knew what I wanted for myself. And I knew the type of dog and the style of dog. I had a pit bull early, and it had got stolen from me. Well, my aunt gave it away, but I had thought at the time, I believe my aunt gave the dog away because I was keeping my dog at my cousin's house. And he might not be, people don't take care of your stuff like you gonna take care of it. And she gave the dog away while we was at school. That's what I believe happened. So that led me, but she came home and then we didn't know what happened to the dog. The dog was gone. And we looking everywhere for the dog. We thought someone had stole the dog. And that lived, how could a dog get stolen? Well, a pit bull doesn't have, because of the way that they were, developed, they tend to not be people aggressive or a man biter, is what they call them. The pit bull wasn't suspicious. That's everybody's dog, especially, here in America, because of, like you said, the environment, or an urban environment. This is the status dog. The dog. Some people like cars, some people like shoes, some people play basketball, some people rap. Everybody have their interests. And then people like dogs. And the pit bull is like the dog for our generation, our era. But because of the fact that the dog can be stolen, strictly, it made the dog unappealing to me, the fact that it could be stolen. Because that's always a possibility when you live in this type of environment. It's always a potential threat theft. So you need something that's got some guardian instincts. And I started looking at the Molosers, the Mastiffs, the Connies, the Boerboels, the Presses. And I settled on the Boerboel because of the family and companionship factors, the family-oriented, the intelligence, the bond. I really love dogs, first and foremost. So I need a dog that has these qualities that what makes a dog an asset to human beings. The bond, the therapeutic value, the things that I have discovered through my research that is not by chance. It's like studied in psychological, the effects that dogs have on humans. And it's the best dog. This dog is just the right dog for me. In the situation that I live in, people were less likely to be stolen because anything that somebody wants bad enough can be stolen. But this dog have protective instincts. They are formidable. They are deterring criminals, but they're looking for the easy score. They don't want to work hard. And dog present a job. Now I got to figure out something else. Why not just find a place that doesn't have a dog? My favorite bloodline is the Exotic Boerboels bloodline because it is hand selected and it's been crafted because it's designed for me. It's my bloodline. But if I have to go to some outside bloodline that name one that's not my own, I will go with African Boerboels, because I've studied their trends and the patterns and their breeding program. It's stood the test of time, which is important. As a breeder, a serious breeder, it takes several generations for your bloodline and breed to evolve, for it to undergo the refinement process. And I watched this breeder over the years stand behind her dogs. Early breeder associates, STL Boerboels in South St. Louis. Big shout out to him because he was a great person to aid, in the very beginning and contribute to a lot of my success because he had started with the Iceberg dog. That's one of my, I got several different bloodlines, but if you're talking about someone that's active with the Boerboels right now, still producing dogs that has stood the test of time, I'm gonna go with African Boerboels and Carleen Brief. Not that I have bought a dog from them, but that I feel like you can't go wrong there. You can't go wrong there. And but I do got some other bloodlines that I like, and I would say like the Cabaret is a nice bloodline that's stood the test of time also. If I was to import a dog, that's who I would buy from. A responsible dog breeder is, first and foremost, I believe, is putting forth an effort, interest in producing better dogs. Not just dogs because I have this dog is gonna be mine, I'm gonna breed the dog. This loosely tossed around like a football. And then, like, you gotta have some qualifications. There should be some qualifications before you should be able to consider someone a breeder. Because people having puppies that don't automatically make you a breeder. Breeders have love for the breed, and it's always putting the breed first, best interest. Making it a priority. It's like it's your life. It's part of your life. Not just, you don't come and go. This is where I'm here to stay. I'm gonna be here day and night and day. I'm gonna see about my dogs no matter what. I'm talking about if I didn't work 12, 14 hours and I'm come spend time with my dogs. I'm talking about before I spent time with my wife when I was young in the game. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know no better. You know what I'm saying? And then I come into bed and she sleep. And then guess what I'm gonna do? Read a dog story. I just wanna have the best dog. I wanna have the best dog, like a person wanna have the best car. Or a person wanna have the best shoes. Or the person wanna have the best gold chain. Or the person wanna have the best, wanna have the best house. Whatever you want. Generally, the dogs are on the raw. If the dog is not pregnant, if the dog is not in whelping puppies, them dogs are feeding a combination of chicken and beef, and primarily beef, chicken. So you throw it in because you want it to be, the diet needs to be balanced. That's the key with the raw. And if you're buying in bulk, you're able to source materials so you can mix and match. We use the trite because it's got the digestive enzymes, the nutrients, everything, high absorption rate. And then we're watching the stool, we're able to monitor the stool. The stool it indicates to us when we should add chicken. So we want to keep it balanced. The stool is gonna let you know how the dog is absorbing. Once it becomes imbalanced, then you're gonna see a change up in the stool. It's not gonna give you that firm, solid stool. It's gonna give you liquid, it might be. Then you're gonna go chicken. Chicken is in balanced ratios and it absorbs easy. I like the leg quarters, is my favorite. It's my go-to, and it's readily accessible. The dog's got a balanced meat, bone, and muscle, and fat, bone, muscle, and fat. So for the amount of dogs that I have, I've built relationships with the people that's processing the chicken. So I go direct to where they got the chicken farms at. Luckily, because it takes me about an hour and 2-3 hours to go where I had to go travel, and I'm buying in bulk. I'm buying a whole truckload. And it's the same chicken that Chick-fil-A. They got it stacked up in the warehouse. And I'm talking about a warehouse big as this street freezer storage. Huge chicken processing. You can smell it miles before you get there. That's what works for me. But you can go to the grocery store, save a lot. Got chicken for 44 cents per pound. If you look at the comparison to dog food, it's like $2.39 a pound, I believe. 30 pound bag, $85, $86 for a 30 pound bag. That's close to $3 a pound. So you're talking about $2.60, 30 something roughly, versus 44 cents for chicken leg quarters. Even if it's 56, 60 cents for chicken leg quarters, that saves a lot. Aldi's, Walmart have them occasionally. You just have to shop around in your town. I think a lot of times people overcomplicate it and they want to give the dog all of these extra stuff. You got to remember the dog is a scavenger. He survived off of less. We don't need as much calories and all of this stuff that we intaking on the daily. It's the food that they ingesting is nutrient dense, and they're able to absorb so much of it because it's appropriate. So because of that, I feel like it's also a benefit to raw because you don't feed as much. Then you also have less outputs. You don't have to buy as many trash bags. You're not cleaning up as much. It's much cleaner. You're not going through as many wood chips. So these are like minor things. When you're cutting corners, sometimes they cost in the end. You think that you're saving up front, but really you pay them more later on down the line because you're gonna run through more supplies. You're gonna have to possibly more vet bills. Because in my experience, I've had, scares with the coccidius and the parvo and anything that you can have with the dogs and the puppies. I had an experience with it. So, and that scares you to death. Because you get a parvo situation and that's for years to come. It's very difficult to clean your premises of that stuff permanently. Yeah, I got cold storage. It depends on my supply. So I got my home supply, I got cold storage. And then I got a place where I grind up meat, package it, depending on my dog's diet, depending on what I'm feeding them, depending on the season and the reason. Like I said, I got these custom diets that I have developed in specific ratios, and I blend it together for the dogs. But it's based off, that's very specific, and it's based off of what I'm trying to accomplish at that time when I'm going to feed that. So right now we're going heavy on the fats because it's the winter. We're going to load them up, so it's good. We can go base as trite, but that's all going to be a part of the guide. That's part of the guide. What we're trying to do is just inspire to prepare the next generation, and food is one of the areas of expertise because I feel like that's an expression of love. I like to feed my dogs. I like to see them eat because they hungry. Everybody's interested in what to feed the dog. It's an expression of love. It's the way that you care for something, and care is a form of love. So you feed the dog the best. And in my experience, you have to feed the dog based on the situation. When they're pregnant, we feed them different. When it's winter, we feed them different. Then it's summer, when they're working out, it's different. You know, you're doing these investments with your dog daily. And it's not something that you do seasonally. It's not something that you do occasionally. It's something that you're going to do regularly, consistently. You have to invest with your dogs daily. You know, they got to get their exercise. I like to ride the bike. I like to work the dogs out. I like to take many dogs out at the same time, 6 or 7 of them at the same time. And I ride them through the neighborhood off leash. So people wonder, you know, how am I able to achieve and accomplish that? Because I'm very in tune with my animals, and you know, we are one when we out there together. And then looking at my leadership, if you gotta understand a pack, they want to follow the leader because they exhaust an area where they hunt. So this is something that's heavily ingrained in the dog, the walk. That's why they follow the leader. And so I look at stuff like Master, like Cesar Millan, and look at his philosophies where he takes leadership role of 60, 70 dogs at a time, 300 dogs at a time. And he's out there with no leash on, no dog. You know, he doesn't have a stick. He's not beating dogs left and right. You know what I mean? He got all of these dogs managed and under control. So I read his books and study. Cesar Millan, I like the way that I just thought that was a super nice and cool. He walking all those dogs through the hills in California. Yeah, I take the dogs, put the dogs on the sled. This is really great. I saw the kids out there, they trying to call us out. They wanted to bring the dog out for them to go pull them on a sled. You know, we take the weight pool. I like to do the weight pool with them, but my main thing is riding the bike with the dogs. It takes me back to childhood. It's something that I always loved to do. I did that when I was a little boy. I used to take my dog and he'd run behind me, and it was like air conditioning. And I had a dog pulling the bike, and it was like smooth and cool, man. I thought I was riding in my 6'4". I'm putting my puppies out for people to see so they know this is a true example of quality. I'm looking for the elite client to the highest caliber client. I'm talking about a total package of a dog, not just a one-trick pony, not just because it's big, not just because it looks good. I'm talking about the dog that is an extension of your family, a dog extension of yourself that's gonna bring you many years of memories and moments. I'm looking for someone that knows and can appreciate a dog that's done their homework. Well, I feel it's a fair price though for all that is invested. This is not an $800 Boerboel. This is not a $1,500 Boerboel. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody that has took the time and know it's gonna be able to respect and appreciate. So hopefully that you have done your homework and understand what you're getting in this. And so we present the breed, we try to put out as much information. So hopefully people have something specific that they're looking for when they call. I want a dog to fulfill a need, a purpose. And I'm trying to understand that about you. What are you looking for, me as the breeder? I want to get to know you. So if I have something that can help you, then let's move forward. You know, puppies are available on the website. And if it's something that you feel like you got to have and you understand already that this is what you want, and we've already talked and discussed your interest and your needs, then you can head over to boerboelpuppy.com and make your reservation, input your details, and it's going to take you to the PayPal gateway, and you can go ahead and secure your reservation. It's simple. And the telephone numbers 216-244-2088 or 216-533-9653, and we can aid and assist you with your Boerboel puppy. We want to make sure that we understand what your interests and desires are before you go ahead and hit that pay now button. We want to make sure that we're able to accommodate you. But at the same time, if you are sure and you know that this is what you want, you're welcome to do that. Availability is very limited. You know, puppies go fast. Yeah, I think I try to show the dog as often as possible and anywhere that they will let the dog walk in the door. If it's local and I can get there. I'm talking AKC, UBKC, any arena. You know, and I encourage the Exotic Boerboel family members to also exhibit the dogs and really show what they admire, because people need to see your bond, the relationship that you have with the dogs. Everybody that has their dog is proud of their dog and loving their dog first and foremost. It's not just about taking the dog to the show or trying to make money on the dog. You know what I'm saying? it's an extension of a family member. Yeah, we did win the Beast of the East. We did win the Beast of the East, which they restarted doing it in 2003. I'm really inspired by the Beast of the East, and I think that this is something that is really an accomplishment for the breed. It's significant because you're talking about recognition from a whole nother breed community, the bully community, and now I thought that this was really cool. I was honored. You know, it was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. You know, I didn't expect to win. I was gonna go home. But I had did what I came to do. I showed my dog. I just want to be around other fellow dog enthusiasts that love dogs and feel as strongly about dogs that I do. The people that's nutty enough to drive across the country to go to the dog show. You know what I'm saying? I want to be around them kind of people. They're my people. Because I have went to some other bully shows, and they don't always accept the Boerboel like that. You know, it's kind of like he's shining on for whatever reason. They changed the rules, you know what I'm saying, on me before and talk about the biggest head. Because I had the biggest head, like automatically, they was like, well, no, it's got to be biggest head in proportion to the body. When your dog wins a championship, he becomes that dog. He becomes the popular dog. He becomes the dog that everybody wants to breed to. So he becomes a lucrative monetarily. And because of that, people can influence the sway the decisions towards their own interest, their best interest of themselves and their own breeding programs. And when they do that, it's not fair to the dogs. And that's why I feel like I got a problem with it. It's not fair. It's not about the dogs anymore. It's greed, it's money. Money is the root of all problems. And because of that, I feel like it needs improvement. It's the design to have an expert look at your dog, rate your dog against 100% system where it's a perfect dog. The problem that I have with the rating system is it does not evaluate a dog's performance and its ability to function. It doesn't evaluate a dog's ability to add value to a human being's life in a modern society, in a modern capacity. And that's where it's fundamentally flawed. If we're not evaluating our breeding stock for that, then eventually it could be lost. If we're not seeking out drive, if we're not valuing drive, if we're not even measuring drive, right, or energy. I like to say energy with the Boerboel because, you know, you have different levels of energy, and I think that's more indicative of the temperament versus drive, where drive is mostly associated with moving dogs to, livestock to pasture. The Boerboel has more energy, where some are more enthusiastic about being close by your side. Some are more like dire desire to be next to you. If you want to breed dogs, sell a puppy before you breed a pair. You're going to see a lot of people breeding dogs that people don't want. You're breeding the wrong kind of Boerboel. Same thing that happened in the bully breed. You've seen it. You got an influx of dogs that are pets being used for breeding, have no business being bred. Only the best should be bred. I'm not going to breed an inferior stock. Some dogs don't make the cut. I expect the best. Well, I say African Boerboels again because it's like she doesn't study the trends. She does not do the politics. She's not always trying to champion out a dog and chasing scores. You know, she used some dogs that doesn't have the best scores in some of her breeding programs. A lot of her dogs are high scoring, not that she doesn't have high scoring dogs. So that means that she's earned the respect of the other breeders in the community. And she's also not seeking out one popular sire. She got different variations of the same dogs with different females and different similar bloodlines, similar features and characteristics in the dog. I feel like the consistency is there. And it's not because of taking the easy route, the shortcut line breeding and tight breeding and doing ancestral matings where you cutting corners. That to me is a shortcut in breeding, like real tight breeding, line breeding, inbreeding. But another way to lock in consistency, and a better way to lock in consistency, is with similar types, traits, and characteristics that you want to see reproduced in your offspring, and you just seek out unrelated dogs with the same features, dominating features. I feel that's a way better practice and strategy. For 2024, I want to get better every day. I want to be more mindful and more deliberate with my efforts and intentions that I don't know. I don't want to take nothing for granted. I want to really give as much as I possibly can. And hopefully that it just will compound everything that I've been doing and working towards. It'll just compound and continue to grow. I would really like to see a young apprentice or somebody come up under me and that I could really like mentor and take up under my wing and just take over this, where I could just be a breeder and not the leader of the breeders in the Exotic Boerboel family. You know what I'm saying? I could just be a participant and have me a dog and let them do the videos and take it on the next one, somebody young. You know what I mean? The really enthusiastic with their come. And hopefully one day, might not be 2024. I'm 41 now, so doing all of this day to day, man, it takes a toll on your body. And I'm like 7 days a week, man, I get burnt out. Seriously though, I get burnt out to the point that my body shuts down. And like, I can't even do anything else. I have a bad headache, I have to just get rest. My expectation is that people hold the Boerboel to a high standard. I really hope, that's my expectation, that breeders breed nothing but the best, that this breed evolves into its highest potential. I feel like it's gonna be one of the most popular dog breeds in the next 10 years, definitely in the next 5. And it's gonna really rise and surge in popularity, especially as more and more people get involved with it. I see the dog taking off. It's a very attractive breed. You can't help. It's like walking a lion down the street. People are drawn to it. A panther, a black panther, a black gorilla down the street. Never seen nothing like that. It's like awe-inspiring. It's from Africa. Then when you say it's from Africa, they had to go and look it up. People love dogs. Man, best friend. And this is the best dog. I'm in competition with myself. And I got so much experience. I've been doing this for so long. I'm still trying to outdo myself from yesterday. You know what I mean? And I don't think nobody else is gonna work hard, because every time, you know, I'm like one of the most underrated and hated. You know what I mean? I'm like an underdog. And I take that and it fuels me. I think some people get a rise out of trolling. You know, I didn't know that early on. And I would go back and forth, and it just made me crazy, going back and forth with haters on the line. I was gonna let my dog do the talking. I used to take this dog and run this dog. One of my first dogs, the one that they tried to discredit and they said it wasn't good enough, I pulled, he was the second dog in the world to run this 12-mile endurance thing as a Boerboel. 12 miles in one day. He had to perform in front of a judge from Germany. But I worked my tail off with that dog. And people had this, they gave me my nod of respect, said the dog was well cared for, managed to head up, finished, I'm talking about, it's on that line. And you can look it up on my YouTube channel. That was 12 years ago. The second Boerboel in the world to ever accomplish just such a feat. You know, as many Boerboels came after, I don't know, not many came after. But this is something that's typically of a herder or a protecting dog, a Shetland dog. You know, and he was able to accomplish that. But I work with that, you know, that's what fuels me. You know, and I would go back and forth with people, because in the beginning, it felt like they just didn't want me to have the dog. And I didn't understand why. And then in the name calling and stuff. So I just learned from that. And it made me become upset, because I'm not the type of person that you're just not gonna beat me easy. I'm a winner, and I will fight every day and night. And you just not gonna beat me, I'm gonna give it my all. And the only way is you beat me if I let you win. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? You didn't beat me, I gave it to you. And then they try to tell you that you can't. And I wasn't raised like that. There's nothing that I cannot figure out. And that's just my mindset. And I felt like they tried to deny me. And I just wasn't standing for that. I'm a family man first and foremost. I take pride in that. Being a father and a husband.